How oft in the night I have come to your bedside and stood, as I did when Joseph of old, at the bed of the sleeping Jesus, there to pray fervently to God, that you, beloved, might realize the perfecting of the heart in the paths of righteousness, that the pure Christ might appear in this life, in you. O beloved, I am ever the watchful presence of Father among you, for I do raise up the figure of the Father, as I raise up the light of those who must play their role on the stage of life in the person of the masculine incarnation. Beloved, the loss of the father flame within family and society is a contrived desecration of the heart of the Divine Mother within you also. Therefore I say, men and women, understand the nobility, the sacredness of the holy calling to be co-creators with God. I speak then of the mysteries of the seventh ray and the seventh ray masters, all saints robed in white, who comprise the hosts of the Lord, hovering over the evolutions of earth in these final hours of the century, have pursued accelerated courses in the seventh ray, for all understand the great need of the hour for personal transmutation, to exceed that transformation that is oncoming in the earth, whether by light or by darkness. Change is indeed the order of the day, beloved. And the winds of Aquarius do bring profound change, stripping from souls and body temples excess trappings and adornments, until the individual is forced to look at himself in the cosmic mirror and say, is this what I am? Or is there something more of me which I have not discovered? Beloved hearts, change then has been decreed from the beginning by the spirals of the great central sun. That wave of light has descended. It is an offense to all darkness, and dark ones who have become darkened by the free will choice to incarnate the night side of life in the place of the day star from on high, the mighty I Am presence. Therefore, beloved, seventh ray masters and angels would intensify the potential for freedom, for right change, accelerating back to the fiery core of being amongst those light bearers in the earth who have proven lifetime after lifetime in various civilizations, who have reached this hour of crisis, that they would stand and still stand for the defense of the principles of Almighty God. Change that is decreed then may be accepted in one of two ways by the evolutions of the planetary systems, whether to ride the wave of light and to find oneself in a new age, at a new level beyond the densities of the physical plane, truly in a higher octave of God awareness, or to choose to deny it, to be inundated, to watch it as though watching the coming of a tsunami, not quite expecting that it will really come, and therefore to go down in the vortex of their own returning karma. Beloved ones, there is one prophecy that is guaranteed for this planet. Heed it well. Change must come, for the law will not hold mankind guiltless who commit the crimes upon the holy innocents and the newborn with the cultural contaminations of Western civilization. Blessed hearts, the day will come when the great law, which none of us in the ascended state will be able to turn back, will say by the right hand of God to all those forces in the earth who have perpetrated and perpetuated the lie, thus far and no farther, the full accountability of your destroying of the souls of these little ones must be upon you. Beloved, you know that this destructivity comes through all of the vehicles of mass communication, through drugs and the purveying of wickedness in the prostitution of children, their abuse, in the programming of their minds away from God, and the tolerance of violence, even the violence of the rock music that does tear their chakras from earliest days in the womb. These assaults upon that life who is God in this new generation must come to the end. And this end, beloved, must be decreed by you. Now then that I have received my deliverance, and the messenger has received her deliverance, by the God affirmation and vote of confidence and violet flame decrees of keepers of the flame worldwide, it is time to turn our attention to the challenge of absolute evil in society and to hold those promised prayer vigils for the overturning of that which does truly invade and assault the souls of the people of earth. Then, beloved, having so opened the channels to heaven that the angels of God may descend and ascend as in Jacob's dream, that they might enter the fray and rescue the light bearers and bring to judgment those who truly in their wickedness are accelerating oncoming earth cataclysm, we shall see just how great the dispensation of light can be for the earnest, committed intercession of the keepers of the flame in their dedicated prayer vigils. Beloved ones, let this July conference at Camelot be a prayer vigil unto the nations for the binding of forces that would catapult this earth into war and nuclear disaster, and for the challenging of the last plagues and all who stand as the dweller in the threshold, preventing the people from those cures of light and the natural cures that are owing to them. I speak of the pollution that is dire in the medical profession, the backwardness, the intrigue and the treachery that does put upon the bodies of this people drugs that actually interfere with the genetic strain of the race. Beloved ones, Do not be guinea pigs in your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, for anyone or anything. Be your own man and your own woman of the new age, and you will find me and my beloved Portia espousing your cause and teaching you, because you have chosen to think independently and not to believe everything you are told or everything that you read as the programming of this North American society. Beloved hearts, I take you now apart from the grid of mass mechanization that has befallen this beloved country. Come with me as I accelerate your consciousness into the etheric octave. We shall rest above North America, and we shall understand the meaning of the mighty blue eagle that is in fact a configuration of blue lightning angels who are in the charge of that god Surya, that ancient one of India who does sit in the seat of the central sun of Sirius. Beloved ones, there are cosmic legions of light, and your own Christ Jesus told you. Think you not that I cannot in this hour summon 12 legions of angels from my Father to deliver me from this fate? But the Lord Christ did not. He chose the hour of the crucifixion to show you that the powers that be in this world will always see to it that the emergent Christed one is persecuted to the level of the crucifixion. It is a false hierarchy imitation of the true initiation of the cosmic cross of white fire, whereby you are fastened in the heart of the cosmic Christ, and the lines of force, as above so below, are one. He said, and I say to you, as they have done it to me, so they will do it to you. The servant is not greater than his Lord. Understand that anyone who declares himself a disciple on the path of personal Christhood and dares to affirm, every day I am becoming more of my Christ in every way, who dares say yes when confronted, art thou the Christ? Yea, the I am that I am in me is the Christ. And to the challenger, and the I am that I am of you is also the Christ. Anyone who shall so be free to speak in joy as well as into the teeth of the very challenge of Antichrist must know that those forces of absolute evil entrenched upon this planetary body in the person of embodied fallen angels are those who have the most to lose and nothing to gain by your Christhood. Do not accept them. Do not expect them to line the streets with hosannas on the day of your coming forth. Beloved ones, they only wait when the tumult dies to find some manner to trap and conspire to the death of the one who dares to be the incarnation of the Word, and that one in this hour of Aquarius. And this is indeed the mystery of Aquarius that I proclaim to you, and my messenger has proclaimed to you, that in that hour not the one, but the many shall become the one incarnate Word, and the mystical body of God upon earth, composed of numberless numbers of saints, shall be the force and the presence in the heart of the earth to overturn the entire world, capitalist communist conspiracy against the light bearers of every nation. This is my prediction this day, beloved, that it shall come to pass. But I tell you, this prediction can only be fulfilled by God in you, by your free will and determination. There is a handwriting on the wall. There is a pattern in the heavens that waits to be filled in. Beloved ones, it is a giant mural, and by taking your place in this mural in this hour at the etheric level, in a giant panorama of history that is coming in America, you make your vow and decree to fulfill a prophecy that is based solely and entirely upon the free will of the light bearers in embodiment. And against this hour of your decision and the decision of the light bearers to unite from around the whole world, have come the forces of abortion in this age, and the murder of the mind and the soul through drugs, and the carrying away of the youth, following the Pied Pipers of that music of the fallen Atlanteans revisited. Therefore, beloved, they have contrived many, many ways to take away the light bearers who now come to fill in the color of their causal bodies and their garments, those roles that must be played. They can be defeated, one and all. Holy families understanding the reality of the Father, Mother God embodying in them may go to the mountains, may bring forth children, and may raise them to bring forth the inner light. I am Joseph, and I do sponsor again the opportunity for you to recognize the calling to open the gates of your temple to these souls of light who truly come to love you, to help you, to stand by you where you stand and still stand and toil and become weary, to take up your plow, to take up your implements of service and work side by side with you in the maintaining of a community of light that will one day be seen as the example of a pre-Golden Age community and souls who are marching to the sun. Thus, beloved, the decree has gone forth. Change is upon you. Look now upon North America from these heights of the etheric plane. See those who are burdened in their bodies, who suffer, and the very burdening of the bodies has made them almost lifeless, complacent, spineless. They do not have the physical strength or the physical fire to rise up and challenge the oppressors that come at every hand to take their farms, take their land, take their money, and manipulate every area of their lives. Beloved ones, Christed ones, are called for in every area where people are suffering abuse at the hand of federal and state governments, of those bureaucrats who have gone mad and have lost completely, if they ever had it, the vision of the founding of this nation under God. Blessed hearts, do not lose the independence of the American spirit by failing to see that bureaucracies of appointed officials who have never been elected of the people, by the people, and for the people do control your destinies in many areas of your life. Do not fail to see that if you do not challenge the abuse of power in this nation, in the moneyed, governmental, and secret society interests The day will come when the beast they have created is so great that it will indeed take cataclysm or war to break the stranglehold upon the people. Blessed ones, this nation I have dedicated for you personally. I have sponsored your birth or immigration here. Understand this. We do not see people in terms of masses. We see people in terms of the individual and his supreme worth. Think you not that we do not have the capacity to know you and to befriend you one by one? That we do not recognize you on the instant and remember every lifetime where we have served together and forged and won some link in the universal chain of hierarchy for freedom and not bondage? Beloved ones, I do know you and I know you well. I have sponsored your birth with the goddess of liberty, and I come in this hour to remind you that had it not been for the sponsorship of my life and other ascended masters, you might have been born far away in another land, or never arrived at these shores in this life, and therefore not have had the opportunity to make good your promise at inner levels at the conclusion of a previous life that was not fruitful to the holy cause. Your promise to be the spirit of liberty on behalf of those who have not reached the maturity of the initiate, for they must still eke out their daily bread and a few coins they can beg. Those who are deprived of education and the real heart of religion. These beggars, spiritual beggars in the streets of the nations of the earth, beloved, cannot suddenly rise to defend the ultimate integrity and spiritual reality of a nation. It takes generations and centuries of evolution in consciousness and education to come to that place where you have the full capability to lay upon the altar of this nation your life, that this freedom might be retained for those blessed souls who arrive here from Vietnam, from Cambodia, from South America, from every nation where their land has been taken from them, where their families have been killed mercilessly, as in Afghanistan. Beloved, America is truly the haven of my heart and yours. Won't you open your hearts to these huddled masses and recognize that by the time they reach the maturity of individual Christhood, there must be a platform left for them to play their part on the stage of life. And if it is to be there, beloved, it must be because you have preserved its point of origin and its cosmic purpose today, here and now. Therefore, beloved, remember, once you were the waif, homeless, without a champion. And once, long ago, El Moria Khan, riding his white horse, fierce warrior in the midst of battle, did ride through and lean down and pick you up and take you to his heart and rescue you from another battle and a moment of utter helplessness. I say to you, Chelas of the will of God, it is your hour and the power of light. Now be the master. Now be the rescuer of my little ones. America, my beloved land, hear my call and recognize that souls are being lost on this soil as the beloved Mary predicted in Fatima. Souls are being destroyed by the mechanism of hell, raised up to sophistication and respectability in all areas of life. And the shock factors of these conditions become so great that the people are neutralized even to react. May the beloved keepers of the flame, who show such devotion and love and sacrifice, also return to the path of mastery, to get their houses and their lives in order, and to now go to the fiery core to develop a decree momentum such as you have not yet developed. Let those who have been acquainted with the ascended masters recognize that you are the examples for those newly come to this teaching. If you do not show forth the fruits of our presence, who will convince and by what means that the ascended masters are real and that their presence is the power to change life into the God estate? You have an accountability when you call yourself a keeper of the flame of life, a champion of the goddess of liberty. And your accountability is to spread the joy of this communion and the great cooperative venture of the ascended masters of the Great White Brotherhood and their unascended chelas. Thus, get thee up to the mountain. I speak to the mountain of God and your mighty I am presence. What use is the saving of the flesh and blood temple? We seek the saving of the immortal spirit. And when you have ascended to the plane of your mighty I am presence, because you have determined to leave the morass of this lower astral consciousness, you will find yourself desiring also the physical mountain of God, not to run and hide for safety, but to go and be the arms of Christ outstretched, welcoming my own who need understanding and soul nourishment and a place prepared in these hours of turning darkness. Beloved ones, many have been reached by the knowledge of my name and my presence and this call. I am gratified by many who have initiated spirals of light, who have increased the violet flame and therefore alleviated the load of planetary suffering. But beloved hearts, I am also disappointed and in the zeal of the Lord as I point to those who have known the word and my presence and my power and have forsaken it for their own spiritual pride, their intellectual arguments and connivances, all a ruse, for they would dodge the necessary step of the surrender of that carnal mind. Thus I rebuke those who know better and who have not done better, those who have already made the choice not only to forsake their calling, beloved ones, but to take this very teaching, spoken from the altars of heaven, and to elect to enter the left-handed path with it, glorifying their egos and their psychic thraldom and their consorting with spirits of a lower order. All of this they do yet in my name, beloved, and in the name of the new dispensation of the new age. Many have wandered far from the center of the I am presence. And when they do so, beloved, it is always the sign that the soul seeks self-gain and will not bend the knee before her own Christ and her own Lord. Those who desire to be entertained and flattered by supposed messages concerning past lives or wondrous accomplishments, may sit in their circles and fiddle with these psychic entities while the nation burns, while it is covered with warfare, and proclaim peace and peace, while the radioactive fallout falls upon their head as a cloud of unknowingness and base ignorance. Oh, beloved, how can any true light-bearer neglect so great a salvation? I tell you, beloved, that those who behave in this manner also have a long history of consorting with the magic of fallen angels. They have been entertained by their baubles and trinkets and promises and offers of an easy way out of the karmic burden for centuries. Their course was also predictable, yet God has seen fit to give all, both the tares and the wheat, the opportunity to come into the light. And even the tare may receive the engrafted word and a threefold flame and begin anew the odyssey of the path of initiation, where every weakness will be tested and every strength will be tested. And the more furious in the sense of accelerated sacred fire with which the initiate approaches this course of testings, the greater the progress, the more accelerated will be the victory. There is no time preordained for your path. The cycles are shortened for the elect who do the will of God. The only condition is the spacing of the absorption of light that is wise and for your good health, spiritually and physically, for the body's atoms cannot adjust too quickly to the greater and greater light. Therefore, in the meantime, you can yet serve and give the teaching while your bodies are being adjusted and stepped up for a larger calling and service. Remember, beloved, when you make the decision to step into the political arena, into the public eye, to represent the people, you must have passed certain initiations whereby there is removed from you the propensity of ambition, pride, competition, and anger. When these have been thoroughly excised from you, you will find yourselves able to stand against those powers of Antichrist who desire to see no light bearer hold any office in any way representative of the people, whether in education or in a representative government. Precious, precious are the feet of those who have made their way to my heart this day. I pray for you fervently, especially in the hour of subtle temptation, which you may not recognize because you slip into it so easily as an old pattern of the procrastination of the day of your God mastery. I pray that you lose not the time or the hour, for the clock is ticking away the sands of opportunity. Blessed ones, may you step in to the great panorama of destiny. May you recognize that this opportunity occurs at great intervals of cycles, sometimes 10,000, 50, 70, or 100,000 years before the evolution of a planetary system may reach that apex once again where the individual who has karma at that level can now expiate it, for he did not make the right choice in the last round. Beloved ones, those who do not elect to become God in this age, if the worst scenario would happen, would find themselves embodying upon a very sick and dying planetary body, waiting perhaps millions of years to the time when it would become habitable again and civilization could be begun and reach again this moment for the choice, the right choice to be made. If then the worst of scenarios does come to pass, those who have chosen the light and to champion freedom will find themselves in etheric octaves in the planetary sphere that is already in the golden age, the place of the inner blueprint, the inner design that has never been compromised, the place of the golden etheric cities of light. Thus, beloved, there is a compartment of consciousness and a plane of evolution suitable to every life stream. Some such life streams occupy a civilization in the center of the earth. They are also physical. Thus, there are layered spheres ranging from the physical to the astral to the mental to the etheric. And in these many levels of earth and heavenly worlds abide millions of evolving souls, all of whom understand that the greatest challenge of all faced by any of these evolutions today is that being faced by you who are in physical embodiment in this wavelength. For you will determine whether the light will descend from etheric octaves to make the golden age physical, or whether the darkness shall come up from beneath and inundate it, pushing the light back to higher octaves. The winning of the physical planet will then create a chain reaction for light throughout the systems of worlds, and the contrary would be the case if this physical level were lost. For Earth is a crossroads of many life waves, of many systems and other galaxies, all come due in this hour for the confrontation in the final karma of light and darkness. I have spoken to you out of the heart of liberty. I have shared with you my great desire to work with you. I invite you to become a part of the Keepers of the Flame fraternity, that I might truly be welcomed with others of the Darjeeling Council of Ascended Masters to stand at your side and sponsor your life, even as now you choose to sponsor the Ascended Masters, their teachings, and activity on earth. To all I say then, I commend you to your highest purpose and destiny. I commend you to deliberate right choice and the right cause of action for the right reason and motive. I commend you to call upon the all-seeing eye of God, that the vision of the future coming out of the past might be seen and known, that the present might be for you a calculated platform of forward movement into the light. When all points of the grid of personal and planetary karma are known, and the graph may be seen, it will become clear to you at inner levels and through that all-seeing eye of God that there are few choices left to any upon earth that can bring about the deliverance of souls necessary. We are grateful that a company such as you, of serious students, does gather in this day when so many voices call you elsewhere. Portia and I express our gratitude that you have received us and our messenger. We remain then for the sponsoring of light in your chakras this afternoon and commend you to the call of Cyclopeia. I am in the light of freedom, your eternal champion of right action. May you always choose right and therefore be in the center of the cosmic Christ. I salute you and bless you in the new age.